Tēnā koutou, no mai. Welcome to the webinar, The Power of Spoken Word, with poets Hinemoana Baker, Tusiata Avia and Karlo Mila. We'll all introduce ourselves shortly, but first I'm going to open us up by sharing the words of poet Jackie Sturm, who wrote this nearly 80 years ago when she was 19 in 1947. It's called Brown Optimism. With dust of labour on a summer's day, they slouched with careless stride of people come from nowhere, going nowhere, smiling, tired, and cursing with a laugh the Pākehā veneer. For them life is a childish farce, to paint in white the brown which stains their lives. Their ancient world is gone, and in the the death of past traditions of a once proud race is mourned by age with mumbling gums in soft tones of despised melodious tongue. You seek your future in the white man's joy. You sing your songs to ape his foolish tune. You change your rhythm to the jazz band's beat and slave and sweat for coin so easily spent. You play a losing game with loaded dice and know no rules to help you win a chance, while Pākehā stands quietly waiting with a smile to move you at his will across the draft board of his policy and faith. A child went past, neglected, poorly clothed in imitation of the white man's dress, hard feet on hard road, running in the heat to spend the white man's money in the white man's store. And what is there for you, O child of Māori pride? Will you be swallowed in the rising tide and mingle blood till all your heritage is gone? This shall not be, for brown must learn from white the rules to make him equal partner in the game they play, and white must cease to trample underfoot these dark leaves of the Polynesian tree. When this is done and each other's worth has found, from union will spring a new race keen, with courage strong to face the world and find at last its place and aim in life. Mauri ora. Ko waio. Ko Lisa Moore tōku ingoa. Ko Kotirana, ko Ingarangi te whakapaparanga mai. He Pākehā hau. He tangata tiriti ahau. My name is Lisa Maule. I am of Scottish and English descent. I am a white New Zealander, gratefully to be in Aotearoa because of Te Tiriti o Waitangi. I work in performing arts based in Te Whanganui Atara, where I am today, on Te Atiawa, Ngāti Toa and Taranaki Whānui land. I'm the chair of the session, and I'm a big fan of these three amazing people and their awesome work. My role as chair is to support the flow of the session. At this Te Tiriti-based Futures and Anti-Racism Conference, we have a code of conduct. So this helps us keep us all clear about our purpose. We're curious, open and respectful. We make generous assumptions. Confidentiality, we take the lessons and leave the details. One person, one mic. We speak from our own experience. No one knows everything. Together we know a lot. Make space, take space. We can't be articulate all the time. Some of us try, but at this session, Hinemoana, Tusiata and Karlo will introduce themselves and then they will share their thoughts through poetry. We're not doing questions today. Instead, we welcome your reflections on what the session brings up for you. We will share some of these at the end. We think we have time for this. So please use the Q&A section to write your reflections or comments. You can interact with each other in the chat, and we have two moderators to help things go smoothly, so you can ask questions in there. I'm now going to pass to Hinemoana for introductions. Kia ora, Hinemoana.
Tēnā rā koe, Lisa. Nau tēnei kaupapa I whakatimata. That's an awesome poem, and the reason why it's especially awesome is because Jackie Sturm was from here, or from Te Aropa, from Taranaki originally. And so her words are now emblazoned on the outside wall of our beautiful new restored library here in Te Whanganui-a-Tara in Wellington in Aotearoa, New Zealand. So thank you so much for sharing those. We're such a local culture, you know, we're all about location and where we are. So I'll locate myself. Kei te mihi hau ki a koutou katoa, e mā takitaki mai nei, whakarongo mai nei. My name's Hinemoana Baker. I'll do this in English. On my dad's side, I'm Maori, so I come from Te Atiawa, Ngāti Toa Rangatira, Ngāti Raukawa ki te Tonga, and Kaitahu down on the South Island, the first three in the North Island, and more specifically from Ngāti Haumia, which is the hapu, one of the two hapu from Te Aropa here, which is the Wellington CBD, pretty much, essentially. All land alienated currently. So I am very interested in the kaupapa of this kōrero, and I'm really, really grateful to be here. And I just want to do a quick mihi to the organisers. I know it's been said by other participants, but I'm so impressed by the functionality of this platform for a start, and also by your reach and your very clear communications, and just the respectful way that we're all interacting is really fantastic. So thank you for having me be a part of it.
Tusiata?
You're doing it old school. Kia ora koutou, tālo palawa, mālo le suifua, maua malilangi e mama. I'm Tusiata Avia, and a poet mostly. And this year I'm doing the writer in residence at the IIML at Te Herenga Waka, Victoria University. So it's really nice that I'm up here in the city for this year, from Ōtautahi, where I've been for a really long time. My background is, my dad is from Samoa, came here in the early 1950s, and that very first wave of Pacific people to this country. So I hail from Lefanga, from Iwa and Sava'i, and from Solo Solo. On my mum's side, she is Balangi. Her people probably came, on her mother's side, probably came with some of the first boats to Littleton, I think. And her father came from Yorkshire when he was about 14. So colonizer and colonized, good to have a foot in each camp, perhaps. And yes, very grateful to be here today. It's me.
Karlo.
Anui te mihi ki a koutou. Ko Karlo Mila tuku ingoa. Ko au he mokopuna o Moana Nui a Kiwa. And I too will switch to Te Reo Pākehā. I have in front of me actually, to be accountable to them, this picture that my nana gave me of William and Mary Hunt, who came on the Adelaide, which was the first ship to leave, but it got blown off course and arrived, I don't know, after the one that got here first. So I have that whakapapa in me, which I feel real calling to be accountable to, as well as my dad was a stowaway. He was just talking to me about this at the weekend, actually. I was like, what was the name of the waka that you came on, you know, thinking about how to introduce myself. And he was like, it was the Tarawera. And I was like, well, shouldn't it be like the Mātua? And he goes, no, only bananas on that boat. He really did stow away. No humans supposed to be traveling, and so got come with multiple histories and many ancestors from many different places. I just did do ancestry DNA, and I can't even list them, like 17 different after Tongan and Samoan, multiple different countries. So I feel I don't know, like the meaning of their lives is still unfolding. And I am also in Whanganuiatara. Yeah, and I'm a mama. Primarily, I have 5 children all of a sudden because I have a blended whānau. And yeah, it's really nice to be here. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou. Now I'm going to pass over to Hinemoana, who's going to share her thoughts with poetry. Kia ora.
Tēnā no tātou. Yeah, I forgot to say, on my mum's side, which I normally do, I'm from Tiamana, so Germany, particularly the south of Germany, Bayern, a little town called Oberammergau, where her German ancestors are from. And also I have English ancestry and possibly Norwegian ancestry. And I haven't done it, Karlo, but my sister did. So, you know, find out every now and then. It's an ongoing journey, isn't it? Whakapapa. So I'm going to start with a poem that takes some inspiration from Marlon Williams, who's an amazing musician, singer-songwriter from Kaitahu and Ngaiterangi. Anyone who hasn't heard of him, please go and check him out. He's amazing. He's just released his first te reo album. And also it takes its first 3 words from Lebanese, Turkish, Australian poet Omar Sakar, who wrote an amazing poem called Blues in his collection, The Lost Arabs. So this poem is called Pacific Vampire. Listen, countless days I've hung New Zealand round my neck, expecting her to warm up with my skin's warm oils. But Hine Hotoki's stepbrother Winter owns that stone, the quotas, all the quarries too. Owns 3 horses, but listens to the race on a crackling transistor with old batteries. Marlon sings Whakameatia mai like it's the 1930s. When I was a kid, New Zealand was that other kid that hung out around the dairy after school, demanding all our aniseed wheels and raspberry jelly crystals, and saying no when anyone asked to borrow his fiberglass skateboard with the ball bearings. Now that kid's reselling at a markup corporate boxes with a cocaine rider and platform pumas for a gag. New Zealand is that hired pot plant in the corner office, overwatered, bloat-leafed, and anyone can see with just one look it's planted in entirely the wrong soil. Pacific Vampire, now there's a horse, goes scary fast, having cut his teeth on short, sharp sprints. The vampire squid controls the water column in a velvety jet black webbed cloak. Marlon sings of Halloween in Los Angeles, and it all comes clear. How the word apologetic sucks all blood out of sorry. I'm just going to have to imagine the screams and applause because, you know, I can't hear it, but yeah. This one kind of, I have some conversations every now and then with people about the state of Anglophone poetry and the difference between landscape and whenua, those kinds of things. There's a lot of landscape poetry, I think, in our canon as Anglophone. Mainly, I'm an Anglophone poet. So this poem is called All Poems Are Landscape Poems If You Wait Long Enough. Each of us is the whole valley, Roots move slow, sure, but in circles. All of this is touchable. The devil is a ruby or an unexploded ordnance. Their silence is a filthy, gushing water someone forced our heads under, and the fishhook is no longer fashionable. I'm just over here trying to create income streams, and hello, here come my grandmothers and their atua names, saying all poems are landscape poems if you wait long enough, shuffle the deck and draw. I'm drawing my own jaw from memory, and I know it's time because I can smell it rotting. The grandmothers were very clear. You cannot leave now. You're one of the elders. You're one of those stones that gets used to pound things. That's you holding yourself by the neck at the tip of your own knife. How does a person make it into their last little while? How does a poem? This poem swirls its dramatic cape, and now all its language is being eaten by cats and dogs in the streets. How I loved you, language, the grandmothers say. How I loved you so. Yeah, I guess I'm thinking a lot about how te tiriti and anti-racism, these things are not local, they're global, and I can't not think about everyone under bombardment of every kind, especially those in Gaza and the West Bank and Lebanon now and Iran and Syria and Sudan and the Congo is just endless. And so one of the things I was fortunate enough to be involved with when I was living in Germany was we repatriated our tupuna bones back from a number of institutions over there, European institutions. So these are human beings who were taken from their graves or from wherever it was they had died and stolen, traded into the Northern Hemisphere, various institutions and private collections. And I was very privileged to help repatriate some of them. So this poem is called Ceremony for the Expatriated. And just a heads up, it has some pretty explicit descriptions of what happens to the body after death. And I'd like to do it for all those in Gaza whose cemeteries are not even sacred. Ceremony for the expatriated. O Lord of horseflies, young insects and hot sand, heard the call of wind through the eye holes of the skull of my dead ancestor, who is sand. Deity of degradation, all crabs and sea smelled that beautiful, slow slime over bone, under the leathering skin of my dead ancestor, who is sea. Jesus of bone-deep infection, wide-winged birds with flutes for bones saw thick ropes of grasses bind under dunes the spine and ribs of my dead ancestor, who is tree and is bird. Saints of smallpox, prince of eternal prisons, we sing this fibre and sprays of brain matter. We here and now, yes, we the ones chanting. We pray his platelets and fingernail fragments. Father influenza, greed God, gourmet God. We sanctify the eyelid, gumline, and cartilage. We pray his cranium, incant her lower jawbone. Mother measles, gang rape gods, we step his tarsals, lightly dance her metatarsals. We live his splinters. Priest of pistols, we are her shards. We shimmer her bright gristle. Pestilence priest, priest in paradise. We are the ceremony, the sea scent. I'll just do one more to take us to the 10 minutes. And thank you all for coming and for listening. Thanks again to Lisa and Alan and everybody who's made it possible behind the scenes. It's a massive job. So this is a poem about being grateful for where I am and feeling for those who are not in these kinds of safe spaces, relatively safe spaces. Give thanks. Remember in a new house, that first night, your dreams, write them down. Your German friend said this and would have brought you bread and salt. Today, the ceasefire has begun or it has ended. So either give thanks directly into the stinking mouth of the passing rubbish truck or hiss and roar your way to the dairy for a fucking light bulb and some tiny nails to bash in with a shoe and hang up the maramataka. The paintwork is important. Nothing is exploding. Albatross spend 80% of their lives on the wing. The two halves of your lower jaw, a pair of albatross, hip and bank in the wind, and you point to the sky the way your father did. He found faces in the clouds towards the end, made up stories. This wasn't his way, but there was so much then, so very much to not think about. Thank you, that's me.
Tēnā koe, Hinemoana. Thank you for holding us in emotion and realness, in humour, in grief, in landscape. A reminder to those viewing that we invite your reflections and comments. You can put them in the Q&A section of the Zoom. So now I invite Karlo to take the mic. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe. I was thinking about Papa Sean Ogden because he was the first person to teach me about Te Tiriti. And it was around the early 1990s. And there was a lot of protest because there was a huge expectation that everyone would celebrate 1990. And I was conscientized by him. I'll read a poem. I'm more interested in poems, I think, or poems are when I'm able to communicate myself best. Papa Sean. You tumble with the land, huge cloud of a man. You enter rooms and make the skyline unpredictable, eyes laden with water, ambivalent lashes threatening storms. People peer anxiously at you, caught jacketless, your curls ringleted with rain. And that it doesn't capture him, but it captures a reaction to him because he was such a truth teller. And I think at the age of 16 or 17, I was so shocked by what I learned through him because I realized that everything I had been taught was a lie pretty much. And that's quite a reckoning, the narrative of New Zealand. And I was quite young enough to be wearing the same Tino Rangatiratanga Now t-shirt that Billy T. James wore at that time when he was doing a joke about a taxi driver. So it was a long, long time ago, and it's been a long journey for me. I am going to read the poem, which was the Hinemoana submission, the Treaty Principles Bill, but I was just thinking about truth-telling. He was so brave, and I guess that's kind of risking discomfort and calling for relational accountability where there was no accountability and very little understanding of the nature of the relationship between tangata tiriti and tangata whenua, and the deep intergenerational harm, and how we inherit that. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about another really brave truth teller, and I'm just going to read a tiny bit of a poem that I wrote for Moana Jackson. And again, the courage to disrupt a narrative, and maybe I'll start here. You who could feel the land and all that was filled with the telling, translate, narrate, enlightened, able to hold the darkness none of us should forget. You who carried this dusk diligently, soft rebalancing darkness into rooms bright with white and right and majority might, into rooms blinded with artificial light, claiming justice. You who could touch the dark matter, the dark energy between us, illuminating pore until it became palpable, tremoring, undulating slowly from unconscious to conscious, invisible to visible, and once it is seen, it cannot be unseen. You who carried the weight and fate of that everlasting cloud, imprinted with the soft gasps of last breaths of thousands of broken-hearted, how they breathed through you into every room, how they sought our silences and found the right words in you, singing a lament that bent your tongue to speak a star compass for finding our way home. How they looked through your eyes into ours, hoping for that quickening quantum movement of Mauri kore to Mauri ora, soul retrieval. There is nothing natural in and on and of this whenua that does not mihi with us to you in gratitude. Enough, it is enough. Carried, it is carried on. The gifting of your knowing into the rivers of whakapapa, into the shape of preserved curving words, into unblocked neural pathways, into an hour of reimagining, into bloodstreams of hope. Patricia Grace knows, traveling the long arc of justice inevitably requires a return to center. We close our eyes now and feel the galaxy expanding through us, accelerating, acknowledging how we have felt this momentum through you. We close our eyes now, knowing we all enter the awa of bloodlines, and there is only so much pushing upstream that the flow of life will allow. Reach up, e te rangatira, through the dark womb, return en route to the epicenter of every living thing, the tipuna stars that birthed us. Surrender to the rolling ocean of the dark nights, galactic, the heaving waves of Po, clustered and shimmering with brilliant stars. Yes, these are the constellations beyond our dreams, bursting with new beginnings. You join them, knowing, glowing, radiant, remembering finally who and what we are. I wasn't really meaning to read so much of that. I just had a little excerpt. But I don't know, maybe I don't, there's a video of me reading that other poem. I don't think I have time for it anymore. But I don't know, I think it's such a hard time right now. But it is really helpful to think of these people that gave their lives to the kaupapa and who, I don't know, helped us transcend the smallness of the way in which it's so often reduced and even retranslated into, you know, meaningless rubbish, like what ACT tried to do. And I think more and more as I growled someone today and kind of said that as our positioning as tangata tiriti is really like, for me, the only thing that has integrity is repair and relational accountability and intergenerational eyes and understanding how everything that we benefit, like the land under all of our feet, is irretrievably intertwined with the loss of peoples who should be governing here right now without all of this settler colonial infrastructure and architecture and systems and worldview and ideology and amnesia. So yeah, I have totally lost track of time. I've recently learned that's a ADHD thing. Like so many people I know my age is a really late diagnosis, which makes me time blind. But I think just as I close out, I think as a poet, I worry that my commitment as a tangata tiriti person, as well as a tangata moana, is performative because it's our nature to perform. And that's something that I'm always sort of checking, like, is it too performative and not grunty enough in the grit of everyday life? But I've kind of come to this piece that because this is so intergenerational, it's never a moment in time. It is the work of a lifetime, as it is for everybody else that is tangata tiriti that have inherited the benefits that are directly related to the dispossession of the Indigenous people here. And I'm going to stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Karlo. It was a treasure for me to feel those people that have meant so much to so many, their presence in the space and the intergenerational cycles that you're bringing into our webinar. So thank you. I'm now going to pass over to Tusiata. I think you need to open your microphone.
Sorry about that. It's really beautiful today to be in this space with Hinemoana and Karlo, and beautiful to be in this atmosphere that they have brought with them. So kind of on the back of that, thinking about ancestors, I've been thinking quite a lot about our young people lately, and I received this email just a few days ago from this young woman in year 13, Samoan, Tongan, white American. It sent me the most extraordinary email, and I've been sitting on it for days and rereading it. While everyone's crying, I feel like I'm going to cry. It's just one of those spaces, I suppose. And she really long email where she really spilled her heart out to me and told me how much she'd been affected by some of my work, and really lovely to read. I'm just going to read you little bits. Early last year, my year 12 English teacher, who has been an avid supporter of my Indigenous anger and artistic activism, put me onto your work. And I thought, oh my God, what an English teacher. Like, all English teachers out there should take note. Well, one of the things that she said was, and I'll read, and she talks about this poem called Big Fat Brown Bitch 13. She was so grateful to be grateful to be grateful. That holds a very special place in my heart. It captures every sliver of grief, shame, and twisted need for assimilation that I've ever felt. The first time I read it, I'll be honest, I cried. I felt like a weight had been eased in my chest when I saw that both of us brown girls, divided by time, place, and the complexities of life, had both been wrapped in the same emotions at some point. Friar Grace Smith really was right when she said, writing has the power to get inside grief and break it down. I'll never forget that poem and what it did in that moment. She ends by saying, thank you so much for publishing your books and putting yourself out there. It means so much to so many of us brown, Pasifika and Māori kids. We see you and we are endlessly grateful for what you've done. So this is like the best review I've ever received in my entire life. And although I have an 18-year-old daughter, I feel kind of quite far away from that teenage audience who are learning some of my work at school, and, you know, responding to it. I keep being asked to, like, I don't know, speak to teachers and tertiary teachers and stuff like that, which is awesome, but I'd really like to kind of be in the same space with that most important of groups. But I just thought that I would read from the poem that she mentioned, and it's from Big Fat Brown Bitch. He was so grateful to be grateful to be grateful. I was grateful my name was Donna. When a teacher was calling a Māori name in roll call or saying Richard Tuatara instead of Richard Tuatau, and then calling him a lizard and all the kids laughing, I was thankful my name was Donna. Someone got wind of my middle name and called me Tusiata Sweeter, and everyone was laughing. And later on the way home, two boys stopped me in the street and spat on me, spat on my blue school jersey. First one gob of pale hoik landing somewhere near my heart, then another running down my chest like filthy tears, and then those two boys laughed at me and called me Tusiata Sweeter and Bunga and Coconut and Overstayer. And all I could do was listen to the drumming in my ears and try to sneer a little bit. It was enough being big and brown and a girl in Christchurch in 1979. I didn't need a weird name that no one could say. I was grateful my name was Donna. Every time I heard another brown kid's name, and every time a teacher called a kid, even if they were white, a Maori, because it was another word for idiot. Everyone said it then, don't be a Maori. Just like they said, don't be a Jew to the kids who wouldn't share their lunch or their paper or pens or whatever it was we wanted, even though none of us knew exactly what a Jew was. I had seen pictures of them in Mum's World War II books, bodies tangled in heaps on the ground in Auschwitz and Belsen, the scary skeletal faces peering out of the black and white stripe. Sometimes I silently said to myself, thank God my name is Donna and not Tusiata, when someone read Donna out again and again and again. When someone called my name across the playground or the classroom again and again and again, your name is the truest thing that anyone ever calls you. It's like the sound of your footsteps through the echo cave of your life. I was grateful and thankful and relieved and grateful again to the guardians of all English normal sounding names that my name was Donna and not Tusiata. Now Donna lives somewhere just outside White Scar Caves in Yorkshire, mostly silent and mostly still. Every now and then I will hear her name and my daughter will turn to me and laugh like someone has called me Macaroni 85, Batman Bin Superman, Jesus Condom Clown Tricycle, or Crystal Ball, like it's the most ridiculous name anyone has ever been given. I thought I would just finish off with the poem that got me in so much trouble. So I wrote a poem about on the 250th anniversary of James Cook's arrival in New Zealand back in 2019. And one of the things I was stunned by is that it cost $20 million for this celebration, this year of celebrations. And it just, blew me away because it was insane to celebrate the beginning of colonization in this country. So I do what I often do and ran to the paper with my anger. And I wrote this. Hey, James. Yeah, you in the white wig in that big endeavour, sailing the blue, blue ocean like a big asshole. Fuck you, bitch. James, I heard someone shoved a knife right up into the gap between your white ribs at Kealakekua Bay. I'm going to go there. Make a big makahiki luau, cook a white pig, feed it to the dogs, and fuck you up, bitch. Hey, James, it's us. These days we're driving around in SUVs looking for you. Or white men like you who might be thieves or rapists or kidnappers or murderers. Yeah, or any of your descendants or any of your incarnations. Because, you know, hey, bitch, we're gonna fuck you up. Tonight, James, it's me, Leilani, Danielle, and a car full of brown girls. We find you on the corner of the Justice Precinct. You've got another woman in a headlock, and I've got my father's pig hunting knife in my fist, and we're coming to get you, sailing around in your resolution, your friendship, your discovery, and your fucking free love. Got your ribs, James, because I'm coming with Kalani Kapolei, Kanaina, Keawe Opala, Kuka Ilimoku, who is a god, and Nua'a, who is king, with a knife. And then, James, then we're gonna fuck you up for good, bitch. So that poem got me in all sorts of trouble when it was printed, I think like 2023 or 4, maybe, as a kind of thing, because I had a show of the same name coming up, and that was part of the show. So it must have been just before the last election, so whatever year that was. And David Seymour got his nasty little hands on it, and kind of went to town and you know, decided that I was racist, and you know, it was just a whole lot of rubbish. But it was a pretty interesting experience to go through, to be up close and personal with those people who I usually have a big distance from, and get a lot of material from watching. But yeah, to be up close and personal with them for about a year and a half, they kind of chased me around the place, was a pretty interesting experience for me. And that brings me to the end of my reading.
Thank you, Tusiata. I really always enjoy that anger energy transmuted into the page. I think that's something that's helpful for all of us to try when we have so much to be angry and sad about. Yeah, and the meaningful connection through generations is good to hear that. So I'm going to read a few of the comments from people who've been responding. We just have a few minutes. Everything is connected to everything. Te Tiriti Futures. So far, politics, intergenerational activism, re-indigenizing, anti-racism, capitalism, ecologies of love, and now tears. I believe that an idea is actioned because of a feeling. Hearing my now aunties speak through art to activate the reasons to break through my own silences. Thank you all for sharing your gifts. I'm truly blessed to be able to be part of this. Much aroha, alofa, and love. So I too am grateful that we've had this time together. I just wondered if there's any last reflections from Karlo, Hinemoana or Tusiata. And then I'll...
Just was great. And I just want to say, Karlo, thanks so much for bringing Papa Sean into the kaupapa from Tukore here, which is also my marae, where my dad's, mum and grandmother, etc., were buried. He was really such an amazing guy, and also, of course, Moana. So, thanks everyone for your lovely comments. Oh my God, I feel like we should copy them all and put them on a T-shirt for our hard time.
Yeah.
Well, is that us? There's one more here that I'll read. I am my ancestor, and my ancestor is I. The stories, the pain keeps our stories alive, and give healing to those who will hear and those who will act to keep us alive, and bring healing for every generation who can feel the presence of the ancestors and their pain as it is ours. Aroha mai whaia. So I'm going to thank you again, all of you, for speaking and sharing your time with us. Thank you to the partners of the conference. There's some more information about them in the lobby, and there's some associated events to do with this conference. For example, I'm in the Radical Kitchen crew, and so another way to be creative is to bake and to share that baking with love. Ngā mihi to all of you who've joined us in the audience. Thanks for your comments and your reflections. The recordings of the conference are uploaded to YouTube, and then you can share them. So yes, thanks again. Hinemoana, Tusiata, Karlo. I'm going to close us now with some words also from Jackie Stern. The last night at Collingwood, no moon and a black sea, the daytime birds have flown to their nighttime places. The incoming tide creeps over Farewell Spit. Soon waves will wash the rocks outside our windows, spraying the glass with salt. 24 hours from now, we'll repeat it all again. We'll be gone by then, back to that northern beach across the strait, with far fewer seabirds but kapiti close at hand. There we will watch the sun go down, where the spit lies out of sight, believing love, like them, returns again and again. Mōre ora.